Hello, everyone. Very happy to see you here with us. Can I get some, responses in the chat? Make sure that you can hear me okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. It's my first time streaming on YouTube, so apologies if I don't have the hang of it quite yet. So my name is Mark Zalan. I am part of the GoMining team. Very happy again to be here with you. This is the first sort of streaming first meeting that we want to. This is the first meeting that we'd like to make part of our regular sessions. So we are looking to make this pretty much a monthly event. I need to get. Sorry, I'm not used to this chat window jumping up and down, and I keep trying to read the messages coming across. Let me just minimize it and get back to it when we get to the question and answer session. Yep. Okay. So again, welcome. Thanks for joining us. This is the first of what we hope to be a regular monthly meeting. Again, for those that haven't seen me before, my name is Mark Zalan. I'm part of the GoMining team. I'm very happy to represent the team here. We wanted to basically, establish a way for us to have a direct communication mechanism with our user community, and we tried we looked at different options, and YouTube seems to be the most convenient way to do that. So thanks for joining us. It'll probably take one or two or three of these sessions for us to really get our feet under us in terms of how this is going to work. My marketing team asked me, for instance, to have a nice backdrop, but I got stuck in some meetings, so I'm actually doing this out of our conference room, which is not very picturesque, but we'll try to do better for the next time. So what we wanted to do today was basically talk about where we are, what the project is focusing on, some of the most recent changes and developments that we've had. So I'll probably talk maybe for 20-25 minutes, and then we want to shift into question and answer session, make it as interactive as possible. I have a couple of my colleagues looking through the questions, and they'll as I talk, they'll hopefully be able to select the ones that we think will be the most useful and the most meaningful, and I'll get to them in the second part of the session. So with that, let's get going. It's been a very eventful last, I guess, 3 to 6 months in the Bitcoin mining space, which is what we do basically. The Bitcoin price is rising, which is great for everyone involved. We think that the new tokenomics that we have rolled out in July and August, we think that that is getting some good traction, and we obviously look at the price of the token as a reflection of that. So the price of the GoMining token has been rising steadily, and that's something that we wanted to achieve to get to as part of the changes that we made back in July and August, because for us that reflects basically the value that the GoMining ecosystem is providing to our user community. And obviously, the higher the token is valued, the higher the value that our community is able to get out of its involvement and participation with our project. So that's one of the things that we keep a close eye on, and I'm sure most people that are involved with the project are doing the same. So in terms of got a nifty list of things that I wanted to cover, so I'll be switching back and forth a little bit. In terms of what we wanted to cover, the project news, I guess the sort of number one, the first one I'll say, I won't say number one, but the first one that's been talked quite a lot about in our social media channels lately over the past month is the fact that the NFT holders stopped receiving GoMining tokens as part of GoMining rewards, and that change seems to have caused some questions in terms of why we did that, and I wanted to just take a couple of minutes to talk about that. The reason we did that is the new tokenomics basically is very focused on locking down, or not locking down, but making sure that the supply of GoMining tokens is essentially deflationary. What we go through with the burn and mint cycles is obviously designed to decrease the amount of tokens in circulation until we get to a certain equilibrium where we feel that the amount of tokens and the amount of value that's being passed through the ecosystem is a good match. And I talked about this back in August and September when we did a couple of AMA sessions with some people, with various people, various influencers in the crypto space. So that continues to be our focus, and basically what that means is that the supply of GoMining tokens is finite, and not only that, but it is designed to decrease, to be deflationary. So in that paradigm, we don't have the option of creating an additional supply of GoMining tokens to provide to NFT holders. So we switched basically. We made that change with the overall goal of maintaining the integrity of the new tokenomics model. We recognize that change, especially change to something that's profitable, sometimes can cause maybe some friction or some consternation. But we think, again, as we've been consistently saying, that the number one goal for us is to ensure that we create long-term value within the ecosystem. And the new tokenomics model that's been out in the past 6 months is we think is doing a fairly good job of that, in making sure that we do create long-term value for long-term participants in our ecosystem. So we do that obviously with the escrow tokens, and this is part of that effort. So understand, everybody, that might be not very happy, but we think that, again, overall for the ecosystem, that is the right way of making sure that the long-term value within the project and within the ecosystem around the project is able to be created in a consistent and transparent way. So if, again, I can go back, I'm happy to go back and forth, and let me know in the comments if there's any additional discussion, or if you want me to go deeper into this topic. Happy to do that once we get to the Q&A. But that's basically how we were thinking about the change, and that's the logic behind it. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. And again, hopefully the fact that the token is appreciating significantly is ensuring that everybody is kept whole in this while this change is implemented. Moving on, basically, the second item is sort of a little bit of a housekeeping thing, but we did automate the clicking that was taking place in the game. So that's no longer something that people have to make sure to spend their time doing. But there was a lot of feedback to asking us to do that. So hopefully that's something that everyone is happy about. Let's see, the tokenomics, as I mentioned, we've gone through 5 burn and mint cycles just in January. We've paid out, over 2 million in GoMining tokens, and obviously they're appreciating as we mentioned. So there's quite a lot of value that's been distributed in the ecosystem around the new way that we're building the project out, and we're creating value. Hopefully, again, this is something that people that are involved with us for the long term are finding valuable for themselves. Let me see. Yeah, there's a note here that I think is a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek comment, but the people that basically jumped on the new tokenomics algorithm and staked their coins in the beginning, in the first couple of burn and mint cycles, those people have gotten the vast majority of their rewards. So the note I have here is basically, move fast, and it pays to be an early adopter. So that's something to keep in mind, I guess. But again, we want to make sure that what we do is makes sense and is valuable for everyone that's involved with our project for the long term. So we recognize that some people like to be early. We recognize that some people like to be a little bit cautious and give it time. So whatever you feel like it, please take it at your own pace. But for the first 2, 3, or 4 burn and mint cycles, it was a small amount of people staking or locking their tokens, getting the vast majority of rewards for that. So right now it's more. Right now it balanced out quite nicely, but still, again, we're very happy with the amount of GoMining rewards that is going out to people that are locking their tokens on a weekly basis. Let's see. We are. This is we probably should have started with this. So we've actually had more than 50,000 NFTs that have been minted and that are out and basically mining Bitcoin. And we've gone through a number of different collections and different ways of creating these. And the challenge that we've hit upon is this has been so successful, and 50,000 is out there already. It's gotten difficult to do them by artist creation. So what we thought we would do is we would change up the algorithm that creates the NFTs at this point, and now they're basically auto-created. So there's an algorithm that creates the look and feel of the NFT, as opposed to somebody actually, an artist actually involved in drawing the actual art. And we think that makes more sense, because as we grow and as we have more NFTs that are being purchased and are being owned by our user base, it's gotten to be essentially non-scalable or non-feasible to continue to have an artist involved in creating each one. We think we've done a very good job, and we've spent a lot of time making sure that the art that's created is quite unique. Again, we're happy to take feedback, and as I hope we've demonstrated over the past couple of years, we do pay a lot of attention to the feedback from the user community. So we think that we've done a very good job in terms of making sure that the art that's created is unique and has artistic value in and of itself, and has an aesthetic component to it. However, I guess we try to balance that with the fact that the way that we use NFTs in our project is basically to represent mining power. So the number one job of the NFT, whatever the look and feel, is to mine Bitcoin and represent actual Bitcoin mining hash power that's sitting in our data centers behind the NFT. So the artistic component for us here is important, but we also try to balance that to make sure that we actually do the mining part quite well as well. So again, take a look. There's over 2,000 that's been minted already. If there's some feedback, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you think we should have done something different, please let us know. And we'll try to take that advice and keep it in mind. Let's see. The last but not least, I guess, is the avatar. Avatars that are used to be called PFP. We've transitioned to calling them basically avatars of GoMiners that have been announced over the past couple of months. So these are designed. These were originally created as part of the feedback from the user community, as we're looking to differentiate people that are not differentiate people. I'm sorry to say that didn't come out correctly. As we were looking to have some sort of way to reward people that participate more than others, and basically what the avatars do is there's weekly activities going on within our community, and they allow us a chance to recognize people that make an oversized impact in terms of the way that our community is structured. So people that have large mining farms will have access to the avatars. People that participate in the regular activities that are run within the community. So we'll do weekly contests. We use it as a way to say thank you to people that take part in activities that we do. So, for instance, sorry, it's been a long Friday for me. So as we talk about questions that are coming in from the community, for instance, with the chat today, we'll pick the best one, and as a thank you to the person that's asking the question, we'll provide the avatar keys. We'll do these on a weekly basis and basically use that as a way to say thank you. one of the things that will be available with the avatars is obviously within our ecosystem. There will be avatar art that is able to be distinct and recognizable for everybody that's involved. And also there will be a number of discounts available as to the avatar holders. For instance, there will be 5% discounts on the purchase of upgrades and tokens. There's going to be see what's the final number. There's going to be 3% discount on all of the service charges, etc. So there, in addition to just being, being recognized as an active part of the community, there's actually some significant value savings that will come with the avatar as well. So interested to hear back again from the community in terms of does it make sense? Do you see value? Is this something that you wanted us to that provides an additional motivation to spend some time with us and contribute into the community? And then in terms of, I guess, sorry, bunch of stuff jumping up. Okay, that's one note I'll take for the next AMA is basically make sure to disable all of the notifications because it's quite difficult for me to stay focused here as I've got messages jumping out from the various apps. In terms of where we see the future going and where we see the next couple of quarters and what we're focused on, I guess. We talked about we have a post recently on Medium about Bitcoin halving and how we view that part of the transition, I guess, of the overall Bitcoin ecosystem. Hold on 1 second, I'll be right back. Sorry, there's some construction noise from the building. So we talked about where we see the ecosystem going, and I won't spend too much time talking about it, but those of you that haven't checked out the Medium posts that we do, please keep that in mind because that's part of a key part of how we try to build out our communication and our transparency with the community. But again, everybody's focused on what's going to happen in April. We are looking. We are focused on what's going to change, and basically at this point nobody knows. Nobody knows what the change is going to be, but based on previous changes and based on how the ecosystem and the overall market have restructured themselves following the previous halvings, we have some ideas, and there's again I don't want to regurgitate what we laid out in the post, but basically as the design of the halvings has always been, sort of to provide financial incentives for miners to maintain the infrastructure, and as the supply of Bitcoins decreases with the decrease in the rewards that are being generated, the value of Bitcoin continues to rise. That's been the case. That's obviously not a guarantee, but that's been the case following all of the previous events. So that's pretty much what we're expecting to happen. Again, there's significant economics involved in Bitcoin mining in terms of the capital expenses that are needed to purchase the equipment, the OpEx that's needed to run the operation, the technical team, et cetera, et cetera. So what we expect is as the rewards decrease, there will be a washout essentially for people that are maybe struggling in terms of the economics of what we do. that may basically no longer participate in Bitcoin mining because it won't make sense for them. The profitability is going to decrease. We think that period usually takes 6 to 12 months, and eventually the Bitcoin price catches up. It may happen faster, it may happen slower. We don't know, but eventually that is something that happened following the previous 3 or 4 events. So this is our base scenario that we expect to happen in Q2 this year. We think we're extremely well positioned because of the investments that we've made in our infrastructure, both in terms of the efficiency of the mining equipment that we have, in terms of the electricity costs that we have, in terms of the very strong and vibrant user community that we have. So we think that actually we are probably one of the better positioned participants in the ecosystem. So from that perspective, we think that long term it will be advantageous for us, as well as to obviously our user community that participates in the mining with us. So we are quite optimistic in terms of how our project will be impacted, and B, in terms of what we're doing. So we recognize that scale matters in our business, and we continue to make very significant investments building out for the future. So we're busy building data centers. We're busy swapping in and out more energy efficient equipment. We're busy developing AI-enabled proactive management and monitoring systems that allow us to optimize our infrastructure and make sure that we are one of the more efficient participants. If not, the goal is to be the most efficient, obviously. But this is notoriously a very opaque industry to benchmark against. So it's difficult to say we're the best, but that's the goal that we have set for our technology teams. So, given the fact that we've been at this for 7 going on 8 years soon, which is a fairly long time in the Bitcoin space, and given the fact that we've gone through these events before, we think in 12 months' time we'll be in a more advantageous position versus the market than at this point. So we're very, very optimistic in terms of what's going to happen. We're making investments to back up our optimism, and in terms of, I think, again, we try to balance transparency and prudency in terms of how we talk about our infrastructure. But basically, we have three data centers under construction right now. 2 are scheduled to come online in 2024, and the third one is slated for next year. And that reflects basically our optimism in the space where we are. And again, we continue to be extremely. We think the best days are still ahead, firstly, and secondly, the success of our project. So we've been extremely happy and gratified with how well the shift to the NFTs and the shift into the new tokenomics model have carried us through the previous year. We understand that one of the other metrics that we're quite focused on, and again, we're receiving feedback from the community, is making sure that we don't run out of capacity to back up the NFTs that are being made available. So that's something that, again, our technology teams are quite focused on, is making sure that we build out as quickly as we can new capacity so that we're able to meet the demand that we see for the products that we're developing. And it's honestly it's been exceeding our expectations, because if somebody asked me a year ago if we expected to be here in January 2024 and have 50,000 NFTs out and minted, I would have definitely not been that optimistic. Let's be honest about that. So there's a couple of people in the team that were much more, I don't know, hopeful, optimistic, whatever is the right word, but much more enthusiastic about it than I was, and I was quite enthusiastic, but not to that extent. So it's been gratifying to see the response. We think 2024 is going to be a very significant year, based on obviously the halving, based on the fact the ETFs got approved, and there's new capital flowing into the Bitcoin space, obviously. So that's another major impact. And overall, we see the future is very bright, and there's a lot of work for us to do to make sure that A, we're part of that future, and B, we're in the most advantageous position that we can be in with regards to that future. So with that, I think I've been talking for 30 minutes. Yes, okay, there's the timer. So hopefully I've covered things that people had questions about and were interested in. Let me shift to the question and answer part. And if there's anything that I skipped over or you'd like to know more about, again, feel free to let us know, please. Okay, so one of the questions is, what's the energy efficiency you think that our NFT miners should be upgraded to get through the halving smoothly and still be profitable? Well, again, we haven't talked about the partnership with Bitmain that there's been quite a lot of discussion about over the past 6 months. But one of the advantages of that is the fact that we have the most energy efficient equipment available for our NFT holders, which is 20 watts per terahash. So that's the best that's out there right now. One of the best, let's say. It's difficult to pick the best one, because everybody has their own specificity a little bit. But in terms of if you're looking for a particular number in terms of energy efficiency, that's the one that we think makes the most sense. Is there anything you see the competitors doing you find interesting? What is GMT doing to stay ahead of them? Well, with regards to liquid Bitcoin hash rate, we don't see anybody. We obviously, there's a lot of competition in the mining space, and the feedback that we're getting from our competitors is basically, you guys are spending a lot of resources building out a community, and talking about going through development cycles with the retail product, with the tokenomics and with the token, and so on. And that takes a lot of effort. Why don't you guys? Are you sure that it makes sense for you to do that? And most people just look at it basically. Why spend the time to build out the retail component of the business? Why not focus on just building the mining infrastructure and running that as a B2B business? And our response to that is basically, there is a reason why we wanted to do what we're doing, and we were very clear-eyed when we went into this space. Was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when we started the discussions, and that is because we think that longer term, it allows you to build a more stable and sustainable community around your projects, firstly, and then secondly, beyond the pure sort of payback and profitability model. We're very passionate about making Bitcoin mining accessible to people for whom otherwise it would not have been. And we continue to be essentially the only project out there that is able to do that. So you can take a very small amount of investment capital and start participating. I think one terahash is the minimum for us, right? So we want to consciously lower the barriers to entry, and that sounds a little bit like a mouthful, but basically, we want to make the economics of Bitcoin mining available to everyday people, and that's it. Again, everyday regular people that don't do this for a living, and that's part of why why we're doing what we're doing. Not just in terms of does it make sense from a financial perspective, is that the most bang for the buck that you can get, but because we like the fact that there's we're doing something of value, and B, there's a community that we're building, and C, it's a lot more fun for us to do what we do versus a different B2B focused business model. So to respond to answer the question directly, haven't seen anybody come and join us in making mining accessible to a retail investor. Would be very interested for people to come along and do that for us, and we'd love to have some people that we can kick around ideas with and develop and grow together, because that's the way that process works. Is when you have competition, that obviously forces both of you to, or several of you to learn and grow from each other and make you better. So looking forward to that at some point. Let's see. How GoMining will ensure long-term life of miners. Physical miners can be broken after a few years. So how is it possible my NFT can be mining with a one-time purchase? This is the beauty of what we did. I think this is it's interesting that it's not transparent. Well, it is transparent, but it's not obvious, I guess, because the question is being asked. But what we're basically doing is we're taking the hash rate that's available, and we're tying that to a particular NFT. But the hash rate on the background on the back end is not a particular miner. So we're not. And this is the difference, I guess. So this is a question I get often is, so you guys are doing cloud mining or whatever. It's not cloud mining, because the way that that particular business model worked is you basically buy a piece of equipment and you host it and you make it and you resell it essentially to somebody. We're not doing that. We're not buying a miner and reselling it to you and have a one-to-one tie to the NFT. What we're doing is we have hash power in the back end, and we're that is normalized essentially for the NFT holder, and the beauty of the whole approach is you don't have to worry about what happens to a particular miner. You don't have to service and maintain a particular miner. You don't have to worry about when the miner what happens to it physically if there's a break fix situation, whatever. When you buy the NFT, you're basically buying liquid hash power on the back end, and it's our job, and we get compensated for that, but it's our job to make sure that that hash rate is always up and available, and everything that happens on the back end, and there's hundreds of people literally that happen on the back end on a daily basis, 24/7. All of that is completely transparent to you. So this is why we like the whole idea and the whole product so much, and why we think we're leading the industry in making sure that the complexity, the technical complexity that is inherent in Bitcoin mining is completely abstracted away for regular people to be able to take part in getting mining rewards. Let's see, next question. As we go mining investor, I see a percentage drop of maintained hash. What are your plans to? Sorry, let me get. As we go mining investor, I see a percentile drop of maintained hash, 80 to 60 once GMT reinvestment feature is removed. What is your plan to promote buying GMT for maintenance? I'm sorry, I'm not sure I get the question. I think let me answer what I think I understand you're trying to ask, and if that's not the case, please follow up with another question and maybe be a little bit more specific. But I think you're saying that because GMT reinvestment feature is no longer there, you're getting less of a. What is your plan to promote buying GMT for me? So, I mean, the basic part of tokenomics is the 10% discount on the GoMining token in terms of paying for electricity and maintenance. So that's the basic answer to your question. We think that makes sense. Again, in terms of the longer term goal that we have of creating value in the ecosystem. So and part of how we do that is we want there to be an organic demand for GoMining token, which is why there's the 10% discount, and we think it makes more sense, obviously, to encourage people to pay the maintenance and electricity expenses via the tokens, as opposed to the using BTC or whatever other mechanism that you have. So that's essentially that's what I think is the answer to the question that I think you're asking. If that's not the case, again, please follow up. Maybe with a little bit more of a descriptive question. How do you feel about the criticism of Bitcoin mining for its negative environmental impact, and that your company seeks to limit its existence? Well, we let me see. I think there is a fair case to be made that let me take a step back maybe a little bit. We think there's a practical aspect and there's a political aspect to the argument that's being made. I don't want to take on the role of speaking for the industry. There's a Bitcoin mining council that is that we're actually part of, that comprises the largest miners, and they sort of we they run with the political aspect of it. We think from our perspective, that's certainly something that we have a focus on, which is why we're very selective in terms of energy sources that we use to power our data center. And I think around 75 to 80% of the power that we consume is via renewables, mostly hydro at this point. And we've got projects running in the Middle East, obviously focused on, not focused, but that involves solar. But there's difficulties there. So I don't want to say that we see that as being a large part of where the infrastructure is going, but that may change at any point. We ourselves, we share the concern, and we share the focus area. I can tell you now that we've actually passed on, refused or declined, I guess is the better way, to build in areas where we weren't able to understand where the supply is coming from, or where it came from sources that we didn't particularly like. But yeah, I mean, there's a concern that around energy sources, how they're used, et cetera, and that's something that we are cognizant of and keep an eye on. I can tell you that we do have a strong preference for hydro, because traditionally we found that in the regions where we function, there's in terms of supply availability, that's one of the better let's see, what am I trying to say here? We've had very good experience, I should say, I guess is what I'm saying. We've had very good experience with hydro as the source of electricity power, and that's something that powers the vast majority of our data centers. And we think from a renewables perspective, that is where we see the industry paying attention as well. So let me leave it there. And the political aspect is there's an industry group that is working through that. Mm-hmm. Avatars is very complicated to obtain. Will avatars be exchangeable or purchasable? Would you also add other games, because it's very fun to play for earn, like spending time on IG? We don't plan to sell them, but obviously we expect that there will be a secondary market for it externally. So if people that do obtain them want to sell them, that's something that is up to them. But obviously that will be out of the loop in that on that part of the process. We don't have any plans to sell them, because we want to make sure that the processes that go into that take place in the community, the engagement, the gamification mechanics, etc., that they're available for everybody to participate in. We're always cognizant about making sure that the playing field is level between people that want to invest a lot of money, and if that's fine, then great, they can buy NFT miners and so on with 5,000 terahash, whatever. But we also want to make sure that there is a part of the ecosystem where it doesn't matter how much capital, how much money you have to invest. Everybody has a level playing field, and this is part of how we're addressing that. So the avatars, we don't expect them to be available for sale. We expect them to be available in terms of participation in the community. And it's likely that at some point, on OpenSea or whatever, some might be available for sale, but we don't have any plans to make that directly available from the project. How did you come up with the idea of NFT mining? What was the goal of the idea back then? Did you really want to give regular people the opportunity to mine? Yes, we've been, and obviously, we didn't hit on the idea of using the NFT for that right away. So that's a little bit version 1.5 or version 2 of the project. But yeah, that was the goal. We started the project in 2017, and by 2020, 3 years later, we were doing very well. But just basically sitting around and thinking about, this is a great business, but it's an extremely complicated business, and obviously, when an idea germinates in a particular project, that you sort of you get inputs from all over the place. So it was a synthesis of people. We're running our project, and people coming in and saying, hey, we want to, we think what you guys are doing makes sense, and in terms of the Bitcoin optimism, and in terms of the economic rewards of what you do, and we have some capital, why don't you take it and help us make money with you? And there's been interest in terms of, well, we'd like to mine, would like to participate in Bitcoin mining, but it's very difficult. The barrier to entry is millions of dollars, and you have to have specialized skills, and you basically have to hire people that know what they're doing, and those people are quite expensive, etc. And we said, well, we're doing all of that. Is there a way that we can sort of aggregate all of the capabilities that we have and make that available, so that somebody can come in with essentially like a $10 investment and get $10 worth of the value that that we have in our infrastructure, and not that we have in our infrastructure, but $10 worth of the hash power that's enabled by our infrastructure, and kicking that around for a good 12 months or so. We came up with the idea of firstly doing the GoMining token, and then the next iteration of that, listening to the feedback from the community, was basically NFTs, and then the new tokenomics. So yeah, that's the answer is yes. Let me see. So yeah, I'm time flies when you're having fun and talking about stuff that you enjoy doing. So let me start wrapping up here, because we want to be again cognizant of the fact that an hour is probably what we think makes sense right now, and just respectful of everybody's time. Please let us know how whether this was helpful for you guys or not. If there's any change to the format that you think would make sense, would love to hear from you. I personally, the couple of notes that I'm taking out of the meeting today is, I need to make sure that I had meetings back to back before this, and then I probably should build in some time to rest before doing this next before doing the next session, because it's difficult for me to talk for an hour to be honest, and I need to rest up a little bit. I'm not happy with how eloquent I've been, so I'll commit to doing better for the next one, and probably choose a better background, maybe not so not such an office environment. So again, hopefully this was this made sense. Again, we try to be as transparent as we can, given the fact that our industry has the specifics that it has. So we want to try to find that balance between being open and very available, but obviously some things that we get asked about, we can't really go into details on. Thank you very much for participating. Thank you for being part of our project and part of our community. It's been, the 2023 has been extremely eventful and gratifying, and we're very happy with the traction that the project is getting, the way the user community is growing and being engaged, and we are extremely optimistic about 2024, and we hope you come on that journey with us as well. So thank you, and see you next time. Have a good Friday, and have a good weekend, everyone. Bye bye.